Hi, this is Vishal and welcome back on my channel again. And today we have a Kotlin session as the two areas we are working nowadays. You know that on Java we are working with the test-driven development, and on the Kotlin side we are working with the Dagger. And meanwhile, I uploaded just for learning how we can use the GitHub on your Android Studio, that means GIT versions, so you can learn all the stuffs. But today we discuss about the Kotlin again. Kotlin, that is related to the multi-binding approaches. So what is that exactly? We shall learn. But before that, I'm giving thanks to all and really appreciate all those comments. As I have seen yesterday, so many users have a good comments put it on my channel. So that's really appreciations for them, and thanks for watching my videos. And sure, I will upload more videos, whatever you want to learn on that. So we continue this tour. Okay, so here today we are working with the multiple repositories. As we know, because of repository be the data, there we have a data layer, we can say that, and in which we discuss about we can get access by the retrofit. In my many sessions I have discussed with the room with retrofit and retrofit here, how we can make a repositories on them and get access in a view model. So a lot of stuffs be there, you learn. So here, if we have any MVVM model in which we have multiple repositories, and we can get access with the view models. So those view models, if you want to show on a single activity on a single fragment, how we can use it, because of sometimes in our app we need multiple view model data on a single activity. And as we learned last time, our view model factory be working only with single view model. But if I want to make my view model factory be for the multiple view models, so we can get access the things. So how we can approach this? So here we have to learn view model key. That means we have to map that key and then get access the things which view model you want to get access, and which data you want to access from the view model. So that is by a dagger. Okay, so first you have a basic sessions, you have to learn what is the dagger as we discussed on my previous sessions. Then you have to approach with the dagger your MVVM approaches, and then you can get access. You have to learn all module, provide, inject component, we all discussed on my previous sessions. And then how we can create a simple view model factory, that already discussed on my previous session, you have to learn. Now today, that means multiple view models and multiple repository we can get access with the dagger. So now we have to start it with Android Studio, so we can learn practically how we can implement it. So let us start it. Okay, so here we have a plugin for the Kotlin cat, as we done last time. Cat generator stuffs, we have implementations for the view model, library extensions, Dagger, compiler, and these all stuffs. Okay, so now we have to start it. And here first we have to create a package, so we can put our repositories and the view models be there. So we have to learn one by one how we can create all these stuffs be, so we can make it. So here first we have to go for the package. That package name is repository. Here we put all the repositories be there, and then we go for the second package, that is for our view models. And then we have a third package, that is go for our factory. But as we done the last time factory for the single view model, we have to change this factory today, that is for the multiple view models, how we can get access for the multi-binding. Okay, so here if we have a multiple repositories, maybe we can give it the name to repo z1, and here we can simply make a class for this repository. And as we done last time, we have to inject the things be here, and for the injection we need a constructor. So here Okay, and here we have to work with the mutable type, mutable data. So mutable, maybe our data be, I will make a small app for you so you can learn how we can create a small app with the MVVM approaches. Okay, so and you with a dagger. So here we have a mutable live data, and we have to check that which kind of data is this. I want with a string kind. So this is a simple, and if I want to make a function, I just say get mutable data, and here we want to put this mutable values be here, mutable data dot values. I want it means maybe just you get it from the retrofit. uh, so this is repository 1, and here we have to create a getter for that so we can get access. So this is our fun, and get uh, mutable data string, we can say that, and this is our mutable type data type, and that data is of form of a string, so that is your getter, and here we have to return that mutable live data. So very simple. So these two things we have to go for the same as for the our next repository, and I want to get access both the repositories on my activity. So that is the scene. So this is your repo z3 2. So this is our repository 2. So this is simple, and we just copy paste all the stuffs here. Only we just change the string. This is repository 2. Okay, nothing else. So that's our two repositories. Now we have to go for our view model. In a view models we have to work and check it which kind of data we want. So that is Kotlin class, and we have a view model 1. So this is our class view model 1. Here we have to extend our view model. Okay, and because of that means it's red, so that is inject, and we need a constructor. Okay, so this is your dagger, and if you go with our variables, that is variable repository 1, that is your repository 1 be here, and I want to get access the data from, this is our function, we can say that call data, and here we can call it repository 1 dot get mutable live data, and here I just create the same getter because of we have to return this getter on our main activity. So we need a very simple data, and here you can say this is our again a mutable data, and with mutable data here we have to get access this mutable data as an repository 1 dot get mutable data strings. That means that getter we can get access here. So same thing we have to apply for the view model 2. So here we have a Kotlin view model 2. Soon we can create a small project in which we learn Kotlin and room and all the stuffs with the dagger. Okay, so you just continue this dagger series and work on. Just copy paste it, and here I'm using instead of repository 1, here I'm creating a repository 2. Okay, and here repository 2 the same, repository 2 the same. Very easy. So these two view models we can get access in our main activity. But before that, the most important thing is how we can build our class, that is a dagger class, and that is the most important class we have to work on. So this is your dagger view model factory. Okay, so this is our class Dagger new model factory. Okay, so for this class what we have to do, you just make a add inject, and here we have a constructor, and in this constructor we have to go for, that is your private, and here we can say the val, and here I'm just making a creators, so that means that is the creators by which we can map. So that is an important, we have to map, and mapping is which view models we want to map here. So that means this is your class. So here you use the C caps. Okay, this is a class, and here we have to map for the class, and that means which classes we needed a view model type. Okay, and most important thing is here we learn, that is the most important and useful thing, that is called here at JVM suppress wildcards. So JVM suppress wildcards be here, that is the annotation is used to instruct the compiler to generate or omit the wildcards for the type arguments. So that means it's useful in the Dagger, because of when we provide the classes with the type, that means which kind of extensions, which kind of wildcard, so these all suppressions it works, and then it simply map the things, otherwise it can create an issue if we don't use it. So that is important, we have to use JVM suppress wildcard be here, so that is always we work with the provider. So and that provider, that is we learn for the view models. So our view model provider is this, and here the most important thing we need, because of we working with the provider, so here we need a view model provider dot factory. Okay, and you can see that it's showing me that we have to need implement some members be here, so we can implement the members be here, and shift and delete. Now we have to work with this, and here as we discussed the last time, same, if you have any suppressed things you can go for the warnings be here. I don't go with the unchecked, so you can go unchecked cast, so warnings be hide. Okay, and here we have a model, everything is here, so we can just make a small creator, and that creator is our, we can say, a provider, and that provider is, as we discussed, our view model, because of we have to map our view model. So whenever you work with this provider, and you can see that which providers we need it, so that is your JVM separations, maybe question mark or this kind of uh, entries, and here we can say for the creators we need these creators, and which kind of creators we need a model class. So whenever you pass any class with this, it can map on that particular view model, it create for that. But we have to check one more thing, if creator is null, so that's important. And here if we go for the key, uh, and if we go with the value, so that means any key values, if we work, and we can say in creators, so we can check that which kind of values, that means that is a mapping, which key and which value, because of we are working with the map key, and for the map key we need a key and the value. I will show you how. Okay, so this is the key value, and you can see that if model class, and that model class is assignable from, okay, that is the key. So that's the learning, and here we can say this is your creator, and that is equals to your value. and that value be, after get the values, we can see that simple break. So we have a break here, and you can learn that with if creator is equals to your null, and if there are any exceptions with your, so we can go for that. Illegal exceptions, illegal argument exceptions we maybe sometimes happen, so we can say this is a non model class, or you can print anything with here, and we have to try, and we have to catch, and under the try what we have to do, we have to return that creator creator dot get as t, so that means we have to return as in the t of class, which class we need it. And here in exception we have to go for the throw and runtime exceptions, we can say, and that is our e. So anything, okay, so it works. So this is our dagger mapping factor. So that is important for that, mean whenever you map it, how we can use, you just create the creator for the view model class. We have JVM suppress void class if we any um, entries for the classes, and here we have a model class, that is a function in which we can check that which key we have to assign and which be the map key there, so we can get access. But how we can mapping, so you need to make a view model key for that, so we'll make it now. Okay, so what we have done, we have done the Dagger view model factories, we create the models, we repositories be ready. Now we have to work with the most important thing, that we have to create our map key so we can get access on particular view model with this Dagger view model factory. So that is an important. So how we can create it, you just first you go for some annotations. Number one is must be documented. If you do not about these annotations, you can watch my Dagger tutorials, or I will upload a doc for you in which all the annotations be there, so you learn. Okay, so this is first we have to create the target, and that target, because of we are working with the functions here, so you can say that the target be the function, annotation target be a function. And now we have to go for again retention, that means the policy. We have to go for our runtime annotations be here, so you go for the runtime annotation, and the most important thing is we have to map a key. So you can see the map key for the Dagger, and that map key in which you have to map your Dagger view model on that. So we can say this is your internal annotation, and then annotation class is just be a view model key, and here we can say this is our value, and that value we work with k class. Yes, and that k class be ours the same thing as we have work view model. So you can see this is the k class for the view model key, and here we are passing the values here of the view model. So that is the creators, when we pass the things, it check the class which class it is, and if any issues, so that means it handled by the JVM suppress void class, and whenever it works, it check that the particular model class be here, and if it is map, so we can assign it, otherwise we can throw the error on that. Okay, so that's very easy. So this is your simple annotation, and now we have to go for the module. So as we have done many times on previous sessions, that means whenever create a module, I just little bit change here. This is your internal abstract, and here I'm making my class that is called your multi. bind dagger, uh, or yeah, or multi-bind module, we can say that. Okay, so we give the name, and here you have to bind some important things. That means your functions, because of we need to annotation with the function here, target be a function, and also the most important thing is your factory. So the most important thing, the first one, we have to bind our factory. How we can bind it? So that is your binds dagger, and this is your abstract, this is your function, and this is your binds. We can say bind view model, you can any name to this, view model factory. So whenever you bind it, you just say that factory dagger view model factory, and you can say that view model provider dot factory. So that means the first bind be ready for you. So whenever you can get access, you can just use that multi-binding module for the factory. Now we have to bind our second thing, that is your binds, and that binds we work for our at into map. That means that is the most important, because we have to pass our data, and that data we have to pass in our view model key. So whatever you create here annotation, it be ready for to pass the things here. Okay, so that annotations we are working with our view model class. So that means you can say our view model 1 double colon, this is your class, and you have to make a function, because of we have to work with the annotation for the functions be here. So that is your abstract, and this is called find main view model 1. That means here you bind your first model, and that view model you can say that is your view model, and you go for that view model 1, and that view model be your view model 1, sorry, view model. Okay, so once it's ready, we have to go, we just copy paste it, and we have to create the second key, and view model 2, you can say that, and this is your view model 2. Okay, so you can make your multiple view models be here like these bytes. The most important things, your factory, then you go for your view model classes. Once it bind, you have to go for a most important thing, that is called your component, and that is the component of the dagger, and in which you have to put your modules, and that modules how we can put it, that be our multi binding module. Okay, and double colon, this is your class. So that means you have to make comma separated, and you can put it your multi modules be here. Okay, that's here easy, and you have created your interface, and that interface be your you can, as we have put it last time, my component, you can make anything be here, and that my component I'm making for fun, and I want to inject this all data on main activity. Okay, so before we can get access be here these things, you have to rebuild the project, so we can check that class automatically be built on your main activity, or is there any issue with that. Okay, so that's the step. So what we have step, first we have to go for the repositories, that means data comes in our repository, then we create our view models, then in which we have data be in the form of view models, and then we have to create our factory, and that factory for a multiple view model mapping key. Here we have used the map key here. Okay, so for this map key, what we have to do, we have to create our simple map key here, that is view model key, and once view model key be ready, we have to pass the values for our view model 1 and view model 2, and instead of these things we need a bind our dagger view model factory, by which we can pass the values, and we can check that which map of the key be working. Okay, So that means it is fine here and everything. Once modules be ready, we can create a component, and then once component be ready, we can get access the things be here. So you can see that if it is ready, so you can there see this is Dagger my component be here. Otherwise it create an issue. So this is your ready component, so you can inject this. Everything is fine. Now the most important thing is we have to inject some values be here. So that inject values be, that's first is your late init, as I describe you why we use the late init on my previous sessions. You can work on that. This is your Dagger view model. You can say that factory column, and you can say this is your view model provider dot factory. Okay, you can use that directly also. And this is your late init where, and here we have a view model 1, so we can get access, and here we have a late init where this is our view model 2. So these to be we can get access be here on the component after this component, and that means we have a view model 1 dot, I want to call data first, and view model 1 dot, that's our setter. So we can get access the things be here, multi-binding string dot observe this comma observer. Okay, so here we have two fields, so in which we have to get access. Number one is first text and number two is second text. So here we can say on the first text dot set text be it, that's the value be here of this string. And the same thing we have to work for the view model 2. That means we can get access multiple view models on our activity. So here we can say view model 2 dot get mutable string dot, again that's your observe, and this comma observe, and here you can say that this is your second text dot set text it. So you can check the values be here. So for this we have to run this Genymotion, and let's see what happened with our multi-binding techniques. Okay, so here it's showing me that, oh yeah, so first we have to get some important thing, that is we have to initialize these things which we forget, that is view model 1, and we have to pass this view model factory b. So view model providers dot off, and how we can provide this comma factory, which we have to, that is a Dagger factory here, and dot get, and that is our view model class, and view model double colon class dot java. So that's important. And the same thing for, we have to work our view model 2. So these to be important, we have to learn whenever you can pass the values of the factory. The rest of the things be same. And now run again and see what happened. So now what be the result? We can see this is, yeah, so this is repository 1, this is repository 2. That means you can capture all the repositories be here, you can get all the data from the repositories on the view models be here. So that's the way you can do the multi-binding. So simple steps you have to follow. You have to work with the repositories, view models, then that is important for the factory mapping, and then we go for the how we can map the view model keys. So that's important task, and I will create a small app on the Kotlin with the Dagger, so you can learn on that. So thank you so much for the day, and all the best for your learning.